Okay, hello everyone again. This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast and YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. Today is Wednesday, which is July the 31st. And so, in this podcast, as well as YouTube channel, go over topics involving the paranormal, occult, supernatural, spirituality. This is not a biblical nor a religious podcast, although I may bring up the biblical text. So, I consider myself to be a spiritualist, psychic light, intuitive, magic mind medium, self proclaimed parapsychologist. So I do what I refer to as spiritual readings, which are essentially tarot card readings. I believe God gives, can convey messages to us, whether it be by tarot or whatever divination you may choose to focus on to receive a message from him. So I consider myself a medium. I did a topic, I want to say it was last week or the week before last, about psychic versus medium. And essentially, they're one and the same. I think we all possess these capabilities, but I guess it's just if you choose to want to accept that reality into this spectrum, if that makes any sense. Because I think mediumship, psychic, and mediumship and psychic is when you're tapping into knowledge, capability, and understanding apart from intuition, if that makes any sense to you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to proceed with my tarot. I've already said my prayer already. So, what are we going to talk about today? What are we going to speak about today? Well, let me pull out three cards. Doing a three card today. Three card reading for today. Let's do a reach. Let's go. Alrighty. All right. So we have worry. We have Prince of Wands, the journalist, and we have Wheel of Fortune. Worry, worry, worry. So worry has the number five there, which relates to stress, conflict, and instability. Worry, worry. So what is this worry is all about? Well, we'll know when we get more so into the reading. It may not necessarily be health related. If we look at this card, we have some things transpiring there. You see the medical professional there showing some signs indicating something that's occurring with someone laying in the bed. That's what it has indicated here. So I honestly believe as I sit here, we're going to get more into the reading. I have Prince of Wands, the journalist. So it showed me in my being prior to awakening today that you should be writing out a journal. You should be keeping an account of things that are transpiring in this life experience because it's going to give an account for those to come as to what transpired at moments in time in history. I think this right here is in relation to the COVID. It's what it lets me know, basically. Keep an account of these things because these things are record. These things will give you a synopsis about some things that occurred in time, moments in time in history, and you'll oftentimes find that people will want to write things in such a fashion to delude or deceive those who are coming in. So that's basically what I feel as though this reading is about because I kept, it was like a constant. I'm like, okay. And so I come and I pull this card here, and it's giving me a synopsis about that. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Well, Wheel of Fortune mentions good luck, change, destiny, life cycles, and karma. So again, I believe this is the cycle of life. Now it has the number 10 on my guide. 10 mentions about renewal, fulfillment, end of cycle. So I do believe, as I mentioned before, that it it showed me in my being that this occurred twice per century, like every 50 years or so, that there's a renewal of energy, if that makes any sense. And so, in order for history to carry on, true history as to what occurred, moments in time in history, these things are such as that, if that makes any sense to anybody. You are a history in the making, and record keeping is very important. Very important, because we want to show what occurred at moments in time, not only in our history or mankind's history, but um, on a vast scale for those to come. When we're all going to a biblion and there's a different set or a different group, as we mentioned about reincarnation, people will want to know about history. I think that most people will want to know the history of existence. And so we are a work history in the making. And I think this is basically what that reading is. You will begin to take note of, uh, as they say, history repeat itself, life cycles, and things of that sort. So at the closing of this reading, I will be doing my topic, which is going to be on Nostradamus, or Nostradamus, whichever way you want to refer to this. I think he was a astrologist, amongst other things, but I get into all of that in a little bit. All right, so let's get some little background, some history. What is past history? So the journalist card again. What is a journalist? Well, you keep record. You write down things that occur, and you keep records. So there is a need for certain energies to not be placed in certain settings. You want to write down reputable information. You don't want to write down bull crap. That's the point. To distract or confuse those who are coming in, those to come. So Wands cards relates to willpower and life force, passion, creativity, ego, and personality. So God will show you these energies and spirits. He will show you will taunting spirits, I would like to refer to them as, how they would do things to contrast what was written in history, to distract you from what's to come, and knowledge and know-how, true knowledge and know-how. So I'm going to pull out three cards. One, two, and three. Again, this podcast and YouTube channel is for entertainment, information, and sometimes educational purposes. So I could be a bit of a sarcastic person, but I think this is not a, in circumstances where, such as the seriousness of our health and well-being in life and depopulation, and how energies recycles and repurpose itself within this space and existence. I think there is a need for clarity and true knowledge. As they say, knowledge is power. So those who are in agreement, or those who don't see the business of it, I believe will be placed in population. I'm just going to be honest about it. Okay. Now I have male, female. So it shows me that, when I get this card, oftentimes it's like a battle when people begin to turn against each other. And as you can see, these things that are written in the biblical text, um, God will show you in practice and manifestation what occurred to lead to this. What was the domino effect? What was the cause and effect to forefront a lot of things that are happening now and that happened in history? Are these things correct? Is it mockery? Is it deception? What is it? And so if you ask God for that information, I do believe that He will um, you know, put certain energies and spirits into motion, into action to give a account of moments in time in history, if that makes any sense. So oftentimes, I think there was a battle amongst the sexes is what I feel, like a disagreement, seeing things in contrast and different perspectives, if that makes any sense. So I do believe the taunting spirits is to give you the ability to see things in duality, um, through a man's point of view as well as through a woman's point of view about what transpired in history. Now I have Greco-Roman here. So something significant with that region and the history with Greco and Roman history. There's this because I know, there was a vast the Roman Empire, according to what is taught in, back when I was in school, the Roman Empire pretty much dominated most of the population in Europe, and I presume Asia, or even, certain parts of the Middle East as well as parts of Africa. God gave me a spiritual sense um, that was to give a synopsis about something that transpired during that time. Like you may have had these energies or this so-called empire, the Roman Empire, but what exactly does that mean? What exactly does that mean, the Roman Empire? So I feel as though there was something some atrocities that occurred, and it was across the board. I believe it was spiritual. If you want my honest opinion, I think it was something supernatural, inexplicable, unexplainable is what I feel, paranormal, and it occurred across a vast lands. And there was a depopulation that occurred amongst a mass of people. Is what I feel. Like catastrophic. It occurred on a over the course of some centuries is what I feel. I do feel that way because there's some significance with the Greco Roman Empire. So you may have seen a certain race of people or a certain group of people that took over, but I think God was giving you a synopsis as to what transpired and brought about a curse that wiped out the lands within a time and space. And I think the COVID is a reenactment of such things that occurred moments in time in history, is what I'm getting at. Okay. Um, I have authority figures here tied to the Wheel of Fortune. Again, the Wheel of Fortune card relates to good luck, change, destiny, life cycles, and karma. So again, it was a life cycle. Something occurred that facilitated a massive transition. I think it was a taking over of a people where desire left and spiritual apathy came upon the people, and there was a the building up, restoration or setting one's ground. In other words, to obilliterate a people. To obilliterate a people is what it shows me. I'm obliterating a people. I'm tapping into an energy right now. So bear with me. I'm not playing. I'm tapping into an energy now. So it mentions to me that I am conquering. I am the conqueror, and I am taking over. I'm taking over. Who is I? God, by way of I don't want this. I am taking over. I prayed for change. And as a result, I self cursed myself and I became a self fulfilling prophecy. You see this person, but it was really I. I, the conqueror, is what it mentions. And how I can trick and deceive those to think it's this person, but it really was this person, is what it says. I am the conqueror. I, by way of my thoughts, was able to get these things implemented throughout a land space while I sat back and by way of my thoughts, they were able to put things into motion by way of my thoughts, is what it just mentions to me as I'm sitting here and I'm pulling off of this energy. So the spirit source is wanting me to convey. I was carrying out, and I feel as though I am pulling off of perhaps an emperor or Roman emperor. I am carrying out someone else's thoughts. It became apparent to me that that's what that was. I was doing these things covering by somebody else. So if you see Greco, which is a representation of Greece, which is what, close to Spain, and then you have Rome here. I am simply carrying out the acts of someone else. Is what I'm getting. So in other words, you see one thing, but it's really coming from something else. I get heart here, like the center. Something keeps focusing me on the motherland. Is what it keeps focusing me on. These are spirits. How I was able to allow this to happen and the advent of the television here in America, versus what we see here, is such as that. You are telling on moments in time in history. If you ask, you shall receive. Why you have energies over here, more energies over here versus over there. We're going to tell you what that is. How the biggest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing the world he and she did not exist. It mentions to me I was carrying out someone's desire. That's what it mentions. The takeover was for upgrade and for newness to get out of one's circumstance, is what it lets me know. I wanted to get out of my circumstance. I wanted to get out of where I am. I asked for the ability to move from my circumstance. That's what it lets me know. Now let's get to love. What was love like? What was love like based on this? What was love like? Um, or what have you. What was the love situation? All right, we got one, we have two, and we have three. So, what was love like? What was love like in those times? Well, I have Cupid's arrow. This was being done by way of God. Any, many, miny, mo. There was a need for change. There was a need for updating. There was a need for a new world. The new world order is when those angels, um, that spiritual sense, interfering and manifesting in this spiritual sense of it all is what it mentions to me. Any, many, miny, mo. It's what it mentions. Have faith. Love is coming, surprise, invitation, or meeting, hesitation. So I believe the Cupid's arrow is such as that. Um, the luck of the draw. And that's what the expansion of civilization across the globe comes from. It was being done by the guidance, wanting for more and wanting for better. The next one at card I have the Phoenix, new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and change mind. So again, this life force that transpired was to put a synopsis as to what areas to focus on. What areas to focus on. We are here to do a job. We are all here to do a duty for mankind to come. Time to come, and this occurs on a cycle. On a cycle. It's your covenant with God. That's what it mentions to me. It's my covenant with God to build the ground roots for what's to come. The next card I have here is sunglasses. Watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, and focusing out. I honestly would believe that these are spirits. The Watchers gives an account of things that transpired moments in time in history. As I mentioned when I did my podcast, when I said that some people in this life experience, and I presume others, were watchers, meaning they were able to see history in the making, and they was innovators. Like they was able to see, they had a vision for what's to come. And by way of idleness, where I guess the slave mentality concept comes from, when the desire was not because of a disbelief or a lack of belief, if that makes any sense. To be a visionary, to foresee what's to come and have faith in that is what it lets me know. To be a visionary, to be an innovator, takes by way of the mind. Many people don't believe, so God had to put it in form by way of the advent of electronics, such as phones, computers, TVs, because they don't believe in the mind, is what it mentions to me. But whole way away is what it mentions to me. I was able to see these things manifest before they came before your eyes. Like I said before, when I did my last podcast about tapping into a grandfather or a great grandfather who was a visionary, was able to see things he may not have been able to put it in layman's term because they hadn't even invented the words yet to describe it. The only way I can describe it is by way of illustrating it. So that's what it means. That's what it's like when people begin to learn language and the advent of language. Um, it mentions to me that language came by way of understanding. And I'm not saying this to be offensive to anyone. Those who were able to catch on and catch it and get it versus those who were not. And this is not to be offensive to anyone. It comes by way of the heart. When you sleep at night and God put all of these images within you and he begins to work things within your body, different. you know, ding at that moment, ding at that moment, ding. And that's how language comes about, by your feelings. By your feelings is what it lets me know. This is how you learn. Um, the next card that I'm going to do is Thoughts, Faith, and Belief card. Thoughts, Faith, and Belief card. These actually are my Celtic cards, but I refer to them as Thoughts, Faith, and Belief because they're very mystical and magical. And in turn, it will give me a synopsis as to thought, thinking, and belief. All right, give me just one moment. Again, this podcast and YouTube is for entertainment purposes. It is for entertainment purposes. So I have Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Five relates to stress, conflict, instability. Pentacles relates to material aspects of life, career, finances, business, and possession. So it lets me know that um I'm picking up on some energy right now. He mentions to me that he had a hard time allowing, he was out of his range. He was in a league of his own. Whoever this energy is, it's like a god or goddess. He was out of his range and his league, and he became very angry because he was filled with rage as well as, he keeps showing me here, right here. I was filled with rage because so many people around me did not feel and think as I did. And it pissed me off so bad. And I began to wonder, is there something going on, a part of, despite of? And that's when I began to venture off and out. That's when it became to me apparent to me that there was something that they were not getting. Now I don't know who I'm picking up on or who this reading is for. It was something that it was lacking because I was a business minded person and things came very readily to me. And what I began to realize was it was something spiritual because I was taking in the same similar things that they was taking in. And that's when it had to become apparent to me, is what he mentions, whoever this person is, that it was spiritual. It was based on belief and vision put within me. You are have some doing some of the same similar things. And God does have who he will and who he chooses to be able to see. Some choose not to see, whereas others may truly cannot see the vision, if that makes any sense. This is what the advent of business, possessions, career, and things of that sort, the belief. I mentioned before that you can will yourself into death. If you believe that you are limited, then that's where you're going to be. Is what it let me know. So I'm picking up on somebody's energy right now. I feel as though it's in the motherland. I feel as though this is some energy from generations ago, at least 5 generations ago. And that's a recycling of energies from probably, as far as we have record of human existence, even some time ago. The next card, and a lot of times when I pull these, I may not necessarily look at what's actual on the card. I go off of what's written down here, but as you can see, this person here and this person is like sitting in a bliss, and they're just kind of chilling out and everything. Well, this is how this person is actually meditating, which a lot of people are trying to discourage you from meditating. I have the wheel here. Well, again, the Wheel of Fortune card. Basically, that's what is. Essentially, we're going back to the Wheel of Fortune. Good luck, change, destiny, life cycles, and karma. So, in other words, karma, it recycles ever so often. Life cycles, destiny, change, a need for improvement, a need for better ways. Some people or spirits can't see no part from their circumstances. And because of some curses that have been brought upon them, it limited their vision. And I'm not talking about sight, I'm talking about the ability to foresee, precognition into the future. It was limited by way of um, certain spiritual entities, spirit related job fields, and spiritual duties. That's what it mentions. Also, by its own right, you can will curses upon yourself for a lack of knowledge. Because I do believe in, I hate to sound like I'm being very hypocritical or what have you, but I do believe um, everything knows its place. Know when to fight, know when to stick back, know when to use certain gifts. But I also believe when you're capable and you don't, you can curse yourself as well. And so this is what I feel as though whoever this energy is that I'm pulling in on witnessed it. That's why there was a need to always learn and a need to always know and find out and research, because you can. I mean, it could happen on both sides of the spectrum. As I mentioned, you know, last week or even the week before last, being conceited is a curse, but also being mocking oneself and having low self-esteem and things of that nature is also a curse in itself. To not value yourself is a curse. Know when to know when to seek knowledge and know to stay in your lane. That's what discernment comes in. So we have Six of Cups. Six relates to harmony, community, and cooperation. Cups relates to feelings and emotions, creativity, relationship, intuition, and compassion. So again, I'm going back into pre close to when some 2,000 years ago, when the people that are in the biblical text walked around, some generations ago, and um, why things manifested as they did. So I started off the reading speaking about this so-called curse here that I spoke about when I did my podcast episode about residual energy of judgment. I think that's what I named it. And I do believe that it comes in a cycle every so often, particularly when people don't quote get it. So it had to, some things had to manifest and be put in motion, is what I feel. Um, the next card I'm going to pull is let's get family history. Like I said, when some things come into fruition with you, it can be very disheartening. It can be very spooky and it's a very scary thing. So I do believe that's what occurred with um, whoever this person is that I'm picking up on. He felt very alone. He felt very afraid. He felt out of his league. He felt no one um, can relate. No one understood. That's what it mentions to me. Alrighty. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm speaking about someone in history. All right, let's go ahead. Let's go pull this card here. Okay, so it looks like that is the Knave of Chalices. Something shows me that this person was, because it's right up in here. Something shows me this person was drawn by emotions. This person was drawn by emotions. And I think this person was by emotions. Rage is what it lets me know. Is that the Knave of Chalices? So again, the chalices is another form of cups, which relates to feelings and emotions, creativity, relationships, intuition, and compassion. I do believe this person was very intuitive and very wise beyond measure. Words can't explain it. Very, very innovative. You don't get too many people like that in this life experience, is what it lets me know. And that's old energy from generations back, is what it lets me know. And God will show you spirit. That He will show you when someone is tapping into energies from time ago, a spirit. I feel as though this is a spirit conjuring. Like I am tapping into the energy space of a conjurer, if that makes any sense to anybody. Like somebody generations ago, and how he felt and what things that he thought, and as such. Could this very well be Jesus or as a Jesus? I do feel that way. Like I said, we all will be a Jesus. We all will understand what uh, he went through. All right. So let's see, what is this card here? Let's go down. And when you begin to have people that empathize with Jesus, quote unquote, they will help to facilitate um, a transition. So this is the Knave of Chalices, Anubis priest. A scribe is writing on a tablet. Above him there is a vase, symbol of the heart containing the soul of a dead person submitted for justice. So I do believe that you are a history in the making. I do feel as though I'm tapping into someone who was a conjurer out of his own league, and God will show you by their movement when they some people may refer to him as an earth angel, okay, a conjurer. This is old knowledge. I don't have to read a book. I read a book to get validation, but he puts it within. Um, so this is a person that is a conjurer, is what I'm getting at. And you are a history in the making. So it mentions positive, young scholar, confession, good omens, meditation, rich interior. So I believe this person is very wise, very, very wise. Like these things were bestowed upon this person, even, as a even as a youngster. Like they was able to foresee this in a person even as a child, baby even. The next card I have here is negative, sincere attachment, excessive demonstration of affection. So I do believe that the negative in this sense of the matter is power. When people see that you have a lot of power, how that power can, what you can do with that power, particularly if it's mishandled. That's what it lets me know. Now, let's proceed to Soul's Purpose card. Let's get into the Soul's Purpose card. Support. Something lets me know that this person here did not feel like they had a lot of support. This character, whoever energies space that I'm tapping into, they did not feel as though they had a lot of support. Your life purpose is full of support. Fully supports you. I believe his vision was beyond what was surrounding this person. Is what it lets me know. This was somebody who could foresee. The next card I have, let's go ahead. Let's pull out my angel card here. Angel therapy. I honestly feel as though this, I mentioned before that um we're not angels. We can be as an angel, but we're not angels, essentially. I don't feel like we are angels. But I honestly feel as this though that this person was being guided by a force called God. That's what it lets me know. Angel therapy. Archangel Raphael give your cares and worries to us, angels, and allow us to take your burdens. So that lets you know that this person here, um, yeah, you may want to um tap into their energy source so you're able to foresee and know. So I think this was an insightful reading, a reading for speaking about energies, speaking about moments in time in history. It's what I feel. Um, and how you will see all these distractions coming in, and particularly, and a lot of it is idleness, essentially. But I honestly feel as though I'm tapping into some energies from time and space ago. I do. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a close, but I will be proceeding with my topic for the day, which is speaking on the astrologist, as well as I want to say he was a physicist, Nostradamus. So stay tuned for that.